Hold on. What's going on here? What is he? Whatever. It's Monday night. It's 8 o'clock. You know what time it is. It's time to start your week off right out here on Nerd Initiative. Mickey, play the new intro.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Anyway, hey folks, how you doing? My name's Off the Cuff Tom. Now, you might notice something's a little bit different tonight. We're not talking TV, we're talking toys. So, myself and good old Mickey over here from Play4Keeps, we have decided we're going to combine forces. We're going to come at you every single Monday night now. But we're going to be talking toys. And the best part is we're going to talk about the history. We're going to talk about everything involved with the figures and, how it's going to relate to television, movies, and all that, all the fantastic stuff in pop culture.
Yes.
So welcome to the new Play4Keeps, the show.
The show. That's
The
right.
show. Mickey, thank you so very much for joining me, or me joining you. I don't know how. We're just like coming together like Voltron, man.
It's the Macho Man Hulk Hogan superpowers handshake. Like, oh yeah,
brother.
I feel the energy. I love it. This is gonna go great though. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about. I'm excited to talk about the history of toys when we do that. Also in pop culture and the way all that stuff has always fascinated me. So to take it to that level, I'm excited to do that. So.
Now, tonight we're going to be talking, obviously, with stuff that's going on in the world right now, especially here in America. There are certain things that are going to be happening in the next day that are going to affect history itself. Having that said, we're going to be talking about presidential toys, or toys that were based on presidents. We're not going to be talking about any satire. We're not going to be talking about any joke toys. We're not even going to be talking politics directly.
Nope.
So we just want to make a very, very clear disclaimer. If we see anything in the chat that we're not a fan of, like anything to one side or the other politically, good night. Thank you very much. We are going to say, hey, do your duty, do the thing out there tomorrow if you can, if you're able to. Either way, we're here to talk toys. We're here to have fun. So let's talk about it. First off, we're going to talk about, we're starting out what happened this past week in toy news, correct?
Correct. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and tell you just something that caught my eye. Two things. We've had some new Marvel Legends out for pre-order and announced maybe in the future, and that being the Captain America. I forgot the name of the movie already. What's the new Captain America?
Brave New World.
Brave New World. Thank you. And speaking of presidential toys, I mean, it is President Thunderbolt Ross that becomes Red Hulk. So you can get your own President Red Hulk figure next year.
I will say I did see the figure and I was kind of disappointed. I would have liked to, again, coming from my Power Rangers background, I would have liked to see maybe of a fire or a steam effect come with it.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
That would fit the brand.
Yeah, but I love seeing the Falcon, the new Falcon. He looks great. I love Sam's costume in the Captain America show, the white one. So I was kind of bummed that we're going back to like this dull blue color, but that's okay. He still looks really cool. He looks really cool with like his helmet visor thing. That thing looks awesome. So that, and I think we got a few things like Fabian Cortez coming, and Rom, and Warbird from the Secret Wars line, I think, is dropping as well. So a lot of cool things coming. And they also hinted at some more X-Men 97 line coming next year with like Jubilee and
you mean the figures they should have already made?
Exactly. Like I just dropped all of them. Emma Frost. There's a bunch of those. I'm excited about that because I've been collecting all of those religiously. So yeah, those are my things that I noticed this past week and I got real hyped for.
Now, to not put money in Hasbro's pockets because Hasbro has everything, I'm going to flip the script and I'm going to talk about Funko and Tom McFarlane. So, first off, Hasbro see, look, I have Hasbro on the brain.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, if you look around my office, I have plenty of Hasbro. I've got my, Star Wars here. I've got my Rangers up here. I've got my Transformers Red series, which I know a lot of people are not a fan of, but I like them. I got more Transformers back there. Okay, shut up.
Uh,
But let's talk about Funko. Funko just
yeah.
released images this past week, a few days ago, about brand new Avatar pops. Now,
Woohoo.
I know there's been a big thing about Avatar. They're just doing what they can to keep things around right
Yeah.
now, till the next Netflix series or the next iteration or the next this, that, and the other thing. But they're doing these wonderful new pops that are going to be Zuko, Toph, Katara, and Aang. But behind them, this deluxe thing is going to be this huge effect piece that is going to be the same symbol of each nation.
Oh, okay.
So behind Aang is going to be all the swirly white air that turns into the three circles that
Yeah.
make the air tribe, the air nomad tribe, and then the water tribe, and so on and so forth. But they're going to be effect pieces that work with it. Another interesting figure, and this is a deep cut one, is there's a new Swamp Thing figure coming out from Todd McFarlane Toys.
I
And the
saw that.
big thing about it is that it's not our traditional green Swampy. Don't get me wrong, I love Swampy,
Mhm.
but I was unaware of this. And it's just for the sheer cool factor. Apparently, at one point in the comics, and I should have pulled up and did my homework a little bit better, there was a opportunity where Swampy went to Ran, the
Yeah.
planet Ran, to chase after Adam Strange. Now, very much like we might have seen in other old, more recent Teen Titans, as in when Beast Boy went to different planets or universes or dimensions, he would change into creatures akin to that.
Yeah.
Swampy himself changes, big, huge, hulking red swamp thing.
It looks
So I
cool.
think those are some really big, interesting figures that I saw this past week that really threw me for a loop. Like, okay, I don't necessarily need the Swamp Thing,
Yeah.
but I think the fact that it's big in history, comic book history, and it's such a unique figure. I think McFarlane's finally realizing, hey, we can do these odd figures. Let's go.
Yeah. We don't need another Batman, guys. Hit us with something unique and interesting.
We always need more Batman.
I agree. I've got a whole shelf of Batman behind this one.
I know you do. We need
But,
more
like,
Batman.
hey, let me get something a little different, just a little give me a little taste of something different? So,
Hmm.
well, speaking of McFarlane, though, while we're on that,
Yeah.
Superman Clark Kent from, the '78 Superman looks great. That released. Pre-order sold out pretty quick on that, by the way. I got mine, thank God, but yeah.
I just can't wait. Now, our friends over at Big Bad Toy Store. I was just double checking my account today. I got 2 pre-orders. One of them has just finally come in shipment, so I can't wait for it to join the stack of Transformers back here that I haven't touched yet. But
Uh,
Agent Knight is coming soon.
oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
That'll be cool. That will
can't
be
wait
cool.
for that. I mean, we also have this figure over here, TBD.
Woohoo! It looks
That
interesting.
that one's, oh,
It
trust
looks
me, it's
interesting.
it's Imperial. What can I tell you?
Speaking of that, there is a review up as of today for the Marvel Legends Quicksilver, retro card from Walmart. It's an exclusive from their Collector Con, so go check that out, guys. It dropped today. There's an article on the website as well if you wanna look at that. But those things are I did a review of that. I loved it. You should go watch it. It's a great figure. Pinless, beautiful colors, a lot of articulation, a lot going on for it. Check it out. You know what I'm saying?
I do love me a good pinless figure.
Yeah.
What I
It
like even more are figures that have really good ball and socket joints.
yes.
Inside
To
joke.
TBT. We're not gonna talk about
We're not on that. We're talking
that.
toys tonight.
Yeah,
So
speak
yeah, we're talking about the toys that have been based in history on the presidents. We did our homework and we really could only find 2.
yeah,
So we just want to kind of get you used to the whole new format of how Play for Keeps the show is going to be. Now, don't get me wrong, TV Talk is going to come back in a different format at some point. We are still going to keep around the one season wonders. We're just going to try and figure out how we're going to put that in because there are too many great TV shows that
mhm,
still need their just due.
facts.
So what do we
100%.
got? What do we got up first? What's the older of the two?
The older of the 2? Okay. I don't know if it's older or not. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'm really bad at dates, but let's just go with the one I think is the oldest. At least the
Okay,
conceptually, it's the oldest for sure, and that is the Lincoln Logs. If it'll get
you're
up there.
backwards.
There we go.
It's the other one.
It's the other one?
It's the other one.
Lincoln Logs, right? Oh, I'm backwards. I got you. I got you. You wanna talk about Lincoln Logs first? You wanna talk about this
Well,
one?
yeah, we'll talk about Lincoln Logs. They came out around 1916 to
1916.
1917.
Yeah, yeah,
When John Lloyd Wright was working in Japan with his dad, and he, was working on an architectural figure about the Imperial Hotel. Um, what's really interesting is that they tried to make it as earthquake proof, but it still was standing after the 1923 Great Kanto earthquake that just crumbled Tokyo. And that's because of the fantastic engineering that they did here with the Great Imperial Hotel. And that's how he came back. And then he tried to make a toy cabin based toy.
yeah,
Um, and pretty much after Lincoln's cabin.
yeah,
And it's a very, very basic design and toy, but it still works to this day. I mean, Lincoln Logs you can still get in the stores.
yeah. Uh, by the way, John Lloyd Wright, sorry, second oldest son to Frank Lloyd Wright, who's a pretty famous architect or architect. There we go.
Mhm,
Fumbling over words. For anyone out there that wasn't sure about that, and who's you notice a lot of his famous work. Pretty popular dude back then. He's got a lot of famous buildings, beautiful work, a lot of
mhm.
straight lines. I love it. I think it's awesome stuff. Um, I think this next one is really. Oh wait, that's not. That's.
No, no.
I
Mickey,
don't
are
know what
you
that is. I don't know what that is. I don't think Frank
my
Lloyd Wright designed that
no,
one.
no, that's kinda cabin fever. Next.
Sorry about that. My bad. Sorry. There's your Imperial Hotel,
There
which
you
is
go.
a beaut. You know what I'm saying? I learned this one doing the research for this. I didn't know Frank Lloyd Wright had designed that. So that
Mhm.
was new for me.
Now, what's really interesting, and this is a complete sidebar, is that I watch a lot of TV shows and I watch a lot of architecture stuff, especially in Japan. Did you know that houses actually depreciate in value as opposed to raise in value over time?
I did not know that.
Reason being is that the land is worth more than the building itself because with as time goes on and earthquakes and so on and so forth, the house structure itself gets weaker and weaker and weaker.
That makes
So
sense.
it's easier to build a new house than it is to refurbish an older one. Now, if you do refurbish an older one, they try to, depending on what era it was built, they have craftsmen carpenters that will still follow the same tools and procedures and whatnot on building homes without nails, without by doing the particular cuts and the divots and the davits and
Yeah.
the, everything that's involved with it. And it is absolutely fascinating. And yes, you'll see some of these modern guys like, oh, hey, I'm going to use a chainsaw to, zip
Yeah.
out this, this grommet, but whatever. Grommet's the wrong word, but you get to the idea.
I know what you mean.
But look at that. That's amazing.
Yeah. This is the
They
inside.
don't, they don't make stuff like that anymore.
No, that was exactly what I said when I pulled this picture up. I was like, they don't make anything like that anymore.
Mm-mm.
Exact words. But they worked together on this, and I guess they actually had a falling out on how to, you know, proceed or whatever, and it gave, John the inspiration to go forward with his invention, which would become Lincoln Logs, but first they were the right blocks,
Not the left blocks.
not the left blocks, the right
No, the
blocks,
right
which
block.
was I guess they use this like you said, they use the inner grooves and all this almost like snapping together system when
Yeah, we're
building the
not talking
hotel.
clutch power,
Right,
okay?
right.
It's a whole different line of figures.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
saying, okay?
Not to be confused with
Not to be confused.
that.
Hey, what's going on, Big Juan? So Juan actually has a Frank Lloyd Wright house in his hometown.
No
Juan
way,
being one of
dude.
our fantastic team members here on Play4Keeps
Yes.
Under Initiative.
You gotta send us a picture of that, man. I wanna see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be
Shoot, I
awesome.
think I think we just figured out a short that we can put up with Juan rolling up to the house.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Content.
What do you say?
This is Juan on special assignment.
Yeah. But, I think so John put his patent in for these, and he was inspired by the Abraham Lincoln original log cabin, I guess, or at least by the president himself and his whole what would you call it? His, like, just as the kids would say today, his aura when it comes to the wilderness and log cabins, right? And that was kind of his inspiration for the naming them
I didn't
anyway.
put my little button on. I don't understand what you're saying, but I'll say I think I'm picking up on what you're putting down. I think
Yeah,
that's
there you go, there you go. But it was cool though because I mean, it's a simple toy, but it's also like it's very creative, right? Like, sure, you have this set to build to however specifications they have, but with these, I mean, kind of like with the other
now.
ones, you can
Can you
build
go?
whatever you want.
Can you go back to the picture with the right blocks?
Yeah,
All right, and just to compare, I mean,
yeah,
the idea and the design has not changed much. Yes, they're a little bit more smoother. There's a lot less pieces. You also don't have those like square and
yeah,
pieces that almost look like tetraminos from Tetris.
yeah.
But it ain't broke, so they only refined the design
Right.
as it got on. I could see where, like you can see that this one says set number 2, and I bet you that that was set number 1 in the black and white pictures
Yeah,
to give the kids more options.
yeah.
But yeah, when you finally get to Lincoln Logs themselves, it's plain, it's simple, it's basic, it's a piece of wood. This is what you do.
And I mean, it's for all ages, right? Like from the smallest kid to the oldest kid, there's something they
hmm
can do with it and have fun with it. I know, me personally, I remember playing with Lincoln Logs as a child.
I
Uh,
think I had them. I think I had them, or at least they were at some relative's house.
yeah, I definitely
So,
had. I think most of them were in like either daycare, school, or at a relative's house is where I got to play with them. Yeah.
ooh, yeah, they might have been in preschool.
Yeah, yeah. They were a big deal in preschools and stuff back then. I don't know if they still are,
Yeah,
but they were. But this is the original Abraham Lincoln log cabin that inspired John Lloyd Wright. God, I'm gonna get that R in there before the night's over with first time. Um, yeah, I guess this was his inspiration going forward for this type of toy, the Lincoln logs. So that was
yeah.
cool.
It's a simple, basic design. It works. You know, I mean, did I wonder? Is there still like a community or anything for Lincoln Logs? Or are there like mass build communities? Like, is there a thing
I
about that?
I think there might be. I know that there is a world record for the biggest Lincoln Log build. This thing is awesome, by the way. I wanna go
That's
play in it. I'm a 41-year-old
crazy.
man, and I'm like, "Can I go play with that?"
No, but it's not small enough for ants, but I think it might be big enough for a Kenner-sized figure?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And considering, yesterday was Godzilla Day, how'd you like to rip through that thing with a big old Godzilla toy?
I don't think I could,
I would
honestly.
yeah, yeah, I'd feel
I don't
terrible.
I no, I think, as fun as it would be, like, if they say it's finally time to break down, sure,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but just for pure chaos sake, no. But even take a look, like, there's some intricacies on this, like,
Yeah.
if you look in some of these corners, there's twists, there's curves, this it's not just square.
Right.
I mean, it's hip to be square, but this is pretty freaking on, like, there's valances, there's yes, ladies and gentlemen, I know the word balance and how to use it in a sentence. Um, it has form and yeah, shoot, I'm impressed.
I am too. And then we have the tallest Lincoln log structure built, Guinness World Record. I don't know what exact height was. I should have looked that up, but it's pretty big. I'd say it's about
Well,
10
here,
to 12
I've got
feet.
a second screen, I'll just take a look right now.
I'm sure it's about a 10 to 12 foot at least, because that guy. Just probably stack up two of this guy. I'm gonna assume he's 6 foot
12
tall.
feet 4
There
inches,
you go.
in the city of Lincoln, April 13th, 2013, at the Lincoln Children's Museum.
Heck
Not
yeah.
to, like, stack it on top of each other.
Hey, we love alliteration, so that's that's perfect. I like that.
How cool is that?
Dude, I miss the bus on getting involved in something like that. I wanna build the tallest Lincoln log structure.
Yep.
This is the more, recent interpretation. I don't know if they're still wood because, again, I haven't touched a Lincoln log in
Oh, it
decades.
still says real wood logs.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know if they had gone the plastic route by now or not, but that's pretty cool.
I think that there's enough cruddy lumber out there and odd cuts that could get turned into
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I don't. The roofs look like some of them come pre-built. They even come with, like, as you see, a cowboy and a horse and a door.
Mhm.
That's something that's pretty new. I don't know when that came along. Probably the '90s or 2000s, I assume, because before that it was just logs, baby, and and those long green pieces for roofs. So that
So,
was.
interestingly enough, Lincoln Logs come in 4 different sizes,
Mhm.
okay? They come in the 1-inch or the half-inch 1 notch, right? Hold on, let me just double check here, make sure I've got my, uh checking out my STEM researching here. They come in the 1.5-inch 1 notch, the 4.5-inch 2 notch, the 7.5-inch 3 notch, and then the 10.5-inch 4 notch. And
Okay,
interestingly enough, every single notch is 3/16 of an inch.
man.
So they all work with each other. Like, I can only imagine the machinery that it takes to machine all this.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know it's a machine cut, but it's still impressive nonetheless.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But yeah,
man,
I'm looking here at some older figures, and actually they had plastic roofs years and years ago.
I could imagine that,
Yep.
especially in the '80s and '90s. It was kind of
Oh,
what you
keep
do.
going further.
Really? Okay,
Oh
'70s.
yeah. The yellowing on this definitely says 70s.
Okay.
And interestingly enough, because I live in upstate New York, you know what else is also in upstate New York? And that you will hear this talked about multiple times now on Play for Keeps the show
Oh, yeah.
is the National Toy Hall of Fame, located up in Rochester, New York.
Was this one of the
Okay.
first inductees?
This was actually inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1999.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's a little late, man. It should have been way earlier than that, in my
Yep.
opinion.
Well, Lincoln Logs and John Lloyd Wright were entered in the National Toy Hall of Fame in 1990. In September 2014, the manufacturer announced the return of the product from China to the U.S. Um, and then they had to change the logo and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. The toy sets are originally made of redwood with varying
Yeah,
colors and roof pieces. And then in the 70s, the company introduced sets made entirely of plastic, but then went back to wood
that's good.
because wood is good.
It's Lincoln Logs, man. They gotta
Yeah.
be
It's not
authentic,
Lincoln.
baby.
It's not planky plastic.
That's right. That's right. Well,
It's
we'll put a
interesting.
yeah. Well,
108 years old. Like, what other toys do we know that have stood that test of time?
man, there's very few.
Like, Slinky's not even that old.
Yeah,
Nintendo might be that old because they used to be a playing card company.
right. They were, yeah,
Now, is that right with an R or right with a W?
with a W.
Just checking. Um, I also know that I think they said because we were talking about Hasbro, technically Lincoln Logs are under the Hasbro licensing because they own Basic Fun Incorporated, who create Lincoln Logs. So once again, Hasbro owns everything.
Jeez. Yeah.
But what, like, come on, what else is that old aside from the teddy bear? And that
So
fact
something
it's
I didn't
older.
I should have done more research on this. Are you telling me that nobody stuffed a bear toy before the teddy bear?
I don't think there was really any bear toys at that. What
Yeah.
were there any bear toys? I mean, I could see cats, I could see puppies, but would a bear really be a thing that a kid would? And I mean, this is
You're
just
right.
conjecture.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, I don't know. That I need to go back and look at that while we're talking. But yeah, so the history of the teddy bear is runs parallel with President Theodore Roosevelt, Teddy
Mhm.
Roosevelt, right?
Yes, former
So
governor of New York State, by the way, as well.
correct.
Hey, that's the mock-up of the original teddy bear design too.
So you want to take the history of this one and how we
No, I
came
did
to.
the last one. It's your turn.
Okay, all right, well, fine. So
Teamwork.
I believe it was
Don't sit here and
the
swoon.
governor of Mississippi that invited Theodore Roosevelt, President Theodore Roosevelt, down for like a hunt, kind of like a vacation or a fun time, like an event, right? And everyone that attended, I guess, had, you know, gotten something, uh, tagged a prize, so to speak. But President Theodore Roosevelt, I don't know if they felt bad for him or if they just wanted. This is one of those things where you want the head honcho to feel good about himself, but they chased down a black bear. I don't know what they went through to chase it down, but against I guess they knocked it out, tied it to a tree. This is real macabre, by the way. Just trigger warning.
Spoiler warning.
Yeah. When I was reading it, I was like, "This is awful." But anyway, they had this bear subdued, can't go anywhere. It's out, and they're like, shoot it so you can have something. Like we all got something, and he was like, "No, I can't do that. That's unsportsmanlike. I can't do that." Um, so he didn't, and the Ideal Toy and Novelty Company, I believe it was. Uh, well, first of all, this thing went through the news cycle, right? Political satire, cartoons,
Yeah.
as you can see, were
So
were
this picture particularly was from 1902 from the Washington Post.
yeah, yeah. And Ideal Toy and Novelty Company saw this, and I guess they just said, "Hey, let's make a bear, stuffed bear, and sell it as the teddy bear." And they petitioned him for the use of his name to do this in good faith, and he agreed. So we had the teddy bear, and it was, I guess, associated with the White House for a little while. At parties, they would hand out teddy bears, and they sold them at their toy company. So that's the basic history of it as it goes.
Now, the original political cartoon that we're seeing right here was done by Clifford Berryman, and it was posted November 16th, 1902, in the Washington Post. It was interesting. Now, after that, Mr. Morris Mitchum saw the Berryman drawing of Roosevelt and was inspired to create the teddy bear. He created a tiny soft bear cub and put it in his candy shop window in Brooklyn with a sign, Teddy's Bear.
Teddy's bear.
Interestingly enough, there was also a little earlier in 1902 in Germany, the Steiff firm produced a teddy bear as a stuffed bear from Richard Steiff's design. Um, so it was interesting. It was shown off at the Leipzig Toy Fair in March of 1903. And
Hmm.
then it just went crazy. There were over 3,000 that were ordered for the United States. Um, it's just completely, and it's just such a simple design.
Yeah,
Now,
and
did you have a teddy bear when you were a little Mickey?
absolutely. I had several.
I think I did. I don't know. Like I know for a fact that this is gonna be a shout out to my sister who never watches any of this, but I still know to this day in her 30s, she still has Yellow Bear.
That's cool, man.
Yellow Bear was probably no bigger than the size of my hand, right?
Yeah.
And it has been like through the ringer of life. And she still has Yellow Bear. And it was called Yellow Bear because it literally was just a light yellow bear. That
Oh,
was it.
wow.
And at 3 years old, her genius self calls it Yellow Bear. I don't know if I really had a teddy bear. Like I know I had pound puppies, all kinds of stuff, but teddy bear, I'm not exactly sure.
You had to have one
I don't
because
know. I can
it
call my mom. Should I call
it,
my mom?
uh,
I'll call
it
her right
it
now.
evolved into so many other things, right? Like, well, first of all, let me go back a slide. The Ideal Toy Company, this gentleman who made it, God, man, I had his name and I wrote it down and I lost it. Um, but anyway, Ideal Toy Company responsible for things like
Evil Knievel.
Evil Knievel toys. We also had,
The original Mousetrap.
yep,
The right
and
one, not the new one.
the right one. The Magic Cube, we know it now as the Rubik's Cube.
Mhm.
Mhm. So, yeah, that guy was responsible for a lot of really cool toys coming to this country, i.e. the teddy bear. Um, the thing I thought about when I started thinking about teddy bear, and you asked me if I had one, obviously I did. It's cool because when you think about it, he's okay, hold on. The story gets dark, all right,
Are we getting
because
emotional? Do I need to get
no, no, no,
tissues?
no. The story
All
gets
right.
dark because, he's like, "I'm not gonna do that. That is dumb. Like, I'm not that kinda guy." But then, he's like, "But go ahead and kill it because it's suffering." So
Yeah, like, this dude rolled up San Juan Hill. He's not gonna, like, just let a poor creature suffer.
right. So, in the end, it still passed away, but, it wasn't because he was gonna murder it just to make some
Y
people feel better about themselves. So but anyway, so he showed empathy in a way to the animal, right? And that's kind of the meaning of giving a teddy bear in a lot of instances, like "Get well soon," "Happy birthday," or "Happy Valentine's Day," "I love you." There's always some kinda, like, warm feelings connected with giving a teddy bear as a gift, even if it is
Mhm.
to a child usually, because that also newborn babies, teddy bears, stuff like that. That feels like a very standard gift a lot of
Yeah,
times
it's a
I
very
see.
safe, easy gift that especially if you're not if you haven't caught up with your friends and found out, a week at month 7, you're like, "Oh, you're having a kid? Cool, teddy bear."
Exactly.
"What?
But
Hold on, hold
yeah, go ahead.
on."
But the teddy bear, I mean, has evolved over the years, and it's inspired a lot of other toys and a lot of other properties, I guess you would call it, right?
Oh my
Um,
god.
when you think about how many characters are based off of a teddy bear, like Ted.
Ah, I didn't even think we were going there tonight, but okay, well,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just thought it was funny. I was like, "Ted, that's perfect. He's a talking teddy bear. He's alive. It's awesome. He's really cool." Uh, what's the next one we got
Paddington
here?
Bear.
Paddington, right? That's a big one, from at
That's a
least
huge
yeah.
one. Over across the pond, Paddington is still a amazing seller. Kids' books, just as a
Oops,
character,
sorry.
great one. We're not gonna talk about the guy who voiced him for the movie, but yeah,
No, we are not.
because we don't like him.
Corduroy, I don't know if you guys
Corduroy, I
are
had that
familiar.
book.
Yes, I
I
did.
did.
My kids have the books on their shelves right now because
Yep.
is one I enjoyed when I was a child. Um, also, what do we got here?
Yes, Teddy Ruxpin. Nothing like putting in poison in in the '80s. You put your poison tape in there, and you just watch Teddy go. Is it nothing but a good time? You're my friend. How can I resist?
I had a Teddy Ruxpin, so, I mean,
I
that's
did
a
not.
that's a teddy bear.
I so wanted a Teddy Ruxpin,
Yeah.
but my folks wouldn't let me have one just because it made noise.
I could see that. This was I remember this, uh, specifically being a grandmother purchase, like, "Happy or Merry Christmas." I'm like,
And
"Yay."
you
Well,
know why?
my
Because
parents
she
were
didn't have to
yeah.
deal with it.
I'm sure I don't know now, but I'm sure my parents back then were just like, "Oh my god, why did you do that?" Because I played that sucker on loop all day, every day.
And also let's kudos to now this was Play School. Play School is also another subdivision of the great Hasbro.
Mhm.
I think we need a graphic for that as we go on, just
That's
like
a good
the
idea.
great Hasbro.
Uh,
Um again, with that said, Teddy Ruxpin has really stood the test of time.
he really has.
Um it's funny, it has come back. It has new modern technology. It has, it could talk to you. It had a little bit of AI. It had a Wi-Fi, I think the newer ones did. It had LED screen eyes. Like it
Ah,
was
yeah. I saw that
yeah.
picture, yeah. I don't know how to
Um,
feel about that. I don't know which one is creepier, the animatronics or the LED eyes or LCD.
I don't know, man, but Teddy Ruxpin was like, I mean, that spawned off into a cartoon,
Yeah.
into movies, into VHS. Like I remember going to my local video store and still renting a Teddy Ruxpin video,
Mhm.
little 6, 7-year-old me. Um, so yeah, Teddy Ruxpin, always a good one. What other examples? Do we got any other
Oh,
examples?
yeah. We got a couple more.
Oh, bother.
Yeah.
Silly old bear.
This one might be just almost as old as the teddy bear. I can't remember when Winnie the Pooh
Winnie
debuted
the
and
Pooh. Give
or
me
was
2 seconds.
published, but yeah, this is an old one, right? And this is the newer, version of him, but originally he was just a teddy bear, right? He didn't have a red shirt on. He was just a stuffed bear
Oh,
and
I
other
didn't make
toys.
it. 1926.
So not
So
long yeah, not
this
too
is
long.
running off the wave of the teddy
He
bear.
this probably reignited it, actually.
Mhm. And that's why Pooh is now in the public domain too.
Uh-huh. Yes, and I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but it is.
I know our friends over at Hops Geek have done reviews of the Blood and Honey movies and whatnot, and that more power to them.
Yeah.
Not my deal.
Shout out to my buddy Dustin at Flicks and Friends who adores that movie, talks about it all the time. They also have a couple episodes on it, and he's hype about it. I'm like, good for you, man. I'm happy for you.
And then, of course, you got to look at Bear in the Blue Big House. Now, that one was a good one. That's more my sister's generation, so
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
going to be for our younger millennials.
Yeah, I was a
Um,
little older when that
I
came out,
was way too old for it.
but
Um,
I was still somehow, like, taken into a couple episodes one time, like, I don't know why I can't stop watching this.
yeah, and if I remember correctly, wasn't Bear in the Big Blue House associated, or Bear was built by the Henson Company?
Yes, yeah, that is correct. Yeah, and one I left off, and I don't know why while we were talking about it, I might wanna hit myself in the head, but I forgot the Care Bears, right? How could I forget the Care Bears? They're huge.
Now, the
Um,
Care Bears are a very, very different story, though,
true, true.
because they were used as marketing to sell stuff, and then they spawned off into they were started in greeting cards,
Yeah,
and like Rainbow Bright was another one, Strawberry
yeah,
Shortcake, and then they came a different way around into the pop culture lexicon, jumping into the TVs and the movies,
yeah.
and of course, I'll always do a Care Bear stare. So we're just gonna throw out there to everybody who was your favorite, and if need be, you can mention the cousins as well. But who was your favorite Care Bear character?
I mean, not to be basic, but it's Braveheart, right?
So you're gonna go for the cousins,
Yes.
the Braveheart lion.
Lionheart, yeah, yeah, Braveheart, yeah. That was my favorite. I don't know what it was. I mean, he's a lion, first of all, but he was just I don't know. I was drawn to that, and I was like, "I like this guy. He's my guy."
For me, it would have to be so. If I'm gonna split it up, I always liked Share Bear.
Okay.
That was the purple bear that always like it had big old ice cream on it. Right. And interestingly enough, a local ice cream shop that we're by where a few of us guys, live at, there's a shop that has a big
Oop, go ahead.
bear on front of everybody. Hi, Bear Blue.
"Hi, buddy."
Hi, everybody. Extreme close up.
Yeah,
There's an ice cream shop that actually has a Share Bear figure in up on top, and
that's cool.
I always thought about, man, I should just like start bringing in figures, Share Bear figures, and then just amass a whole thing. But Share Bear was one of my favorite, and then actually it was Bright Heart Raccoon was my other favorite.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one too.
He was
Yeah,
smart.
yeah. I love the
I like the
cousins.
smart
I don't
ones.
know why I like the cousins more, but I always like the cousins more.
And our homegirl Kat in the chat there also mentioned that she was a huge fan of Share Bear.
Awesome. That's always awesome.
And then you know what? Another one that we could have thrown up there too. Beanie Babies.
That's true. Yeah,
I mean, a lot of their figures, a lot of their merchandise were all bears.
yeah. Out the gate, yeah.
And who's got a big whole stack of Beanie Babies at home? Not me. I can tell you that.
Man, I remember that craze. I didn't care. Maybe I was too young or something. I don't know. But my grandmother, though, buddy, she had like a room full of them bad boys. I don't know where they're at now, but she had them. She caught
Landfill.
into it. Yeah, probably, probably. Knowing her, they're in a box somewhere, and she's gonna give them to me when she passes. God rest her soul.
We love you, Grandma. We do. But that's the funny thing is that you look at the generational difference of collecting things, and oh, this will be worth money one day, and this will be worth money one day, right? I'm
Yeah.
like, nah, no, they're not. And then you look at our backgrounds, folks. This
It's
is
not
not going to be worth money one day.
It's really not.
I've got a corner that might be,
Uh,
but the general, no.
the stuff that might be worth money is securely stashed somewhere. It's not out for display.
Yeah.
Uh,
And Kat also still has her sister's Beanie Baby collection in the bedroom closet still to this day.
that's cool. We
You
gotta
know,
see it. Where's the pictures?
well, that's what I'm saying. I think that we need to start, again with this whole new initiative here on Nerd Initiative with Play for Keeps. We really want to have, everybody's interaction. So what we really like is why don't you guys start, whether it's, catching up with an oops moment or whether it is showing off your collection, we need a hashtag. So
Oh,
let's
yeah.
everybody jump in and go on to nerdinitiative.com, go on to our Twitters, our Facebooks, especially check out the new Nerd Initiative Facebook, and suggest what should be the Play for Keeps the show hashtag B. So that way we see it, and then we can talk about it, and
Yeah.
you get to share in the fun.
That's a great idea. I like that.
That's
Speaking
what
of
I did.
the oops, I know we didn't really explain it, but just so you know, there was a slide with a oops on it from before.
Hmm.
If you guys can keep up with that, I may be asking for them later. You get some really cool stuff because I've got some stuff. I got a big old box of stuff just ready to go out the door to somebody. So keep up with those. When I ask for them, let me know what they are. Okay.
Yep. So we're going to be running a contest, and you folks need to keep up on our oops slides. We're going to throw them in a different one every single week. And then finally, when we make the announcement of when we're running our contest, the first person that gets it all right and sends in their submission with every single oops slide, and you just have to write it in. You don't have to take screenshots. You don't have to any of that kind of stuff. You don't have to make a
Yeah.
video.
Yeah.
The first person that gets it is going to win our contest. We haven't figured out exactly what we're giving away yet,
Yeah.
but we're going to have stuff for you. And who
Absolutely.
doesn't like stuff? Hey, I just realized my light over there went out.
I wasn't paying attention either. I don't know why. I didn't see it though. Oh man, so that was a good little walk down toy nostalgia history,
Yeah, absolutely.
whatever.
Um, I think this is going to be a really great thing that everybody's going to enjoy. Again, we're going to try and integrate toys and TV and the history and the movies and the pop culture and everything else involved. And the biggest thing that needs to get involved is everybody out there. Nerd Initiative is a huge family of people, and it's more important that you're involved with us as well. So make
Mhm.
sure that you do the first thing, and that is because we're on Nerd Initiative, we love our QR codes. So make sure you hit that QR code right there. Check out the website. Now, today is going to be, of course, Play for Keeps, the show.
The show.
Tomorrow we're going to have Turn a Page. Wednesday we're going to have
Ooh.
30 plus some odd comic book reviews coming out. Thursday is going to be, Wrestling Night Live dropping in from the top rope. And Friday, well, that's still open and up
Yeah,
for stuff. So we're going to see what happens there.
yeah. It's an open slot now. What are we gonna do
Yep,
there?
it's an open slot because you know what? They realize, you and me bookending the week, let's put them both together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Although, I mean, come on, that's a lot of awesome.
Oh, well, yes. And yes, Ken is right. Tap is not on tomorrow for certain reasons. Turn a Page is not happening tomorrow. So, just as a quick reminder, because we are all going to be on special assignment doing our own thing,
Mhm.
there is no Turn a Page tomorrow night. But check out next week. We have amazing interviews coming up, which we cannot say.
Oh,
Uh,
man.
but
Juicy.
yeah,
Good.
juicy, 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 juicy.
You guys are gonna love it.
Now, again, in the whole interest of making sure that we keep this community going and growing, if you have a toy that you want us to talk about, if you have a franchise that you want us to talk about, let us know. We really
Please.
want to have that interaction. We're here for you, and you're here for us. So, having that said, I mean, I'm spent. I got comic book reviews to do.
Oh, yeah, yeah, we gotta get on that tonight, buddy.
Mhm.
So, one last thing I wanna say, if you get a chance, check out Big Bad Toy Store. I wanna thank them for sponsoring us and bringing all these awesome reviews to you guys, and it's just it's a good thing that they're involved. We love having them. Good toys, good people. Just check them out. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, our friends over Big Bad Toy Store really do take care of us really well, and we just can't thank them enough. Um,
Yeah,
this is going to be very awkward because Mickey and I haven't figured out how we're going to close this out yet.
yeah. You know, I always say be kind to yourself, and then the other thing, don't just play for fun.
Play for
Play for
keeps.
keeps. That's a good ending right there.